I want to talk about something. I just watched a video and I posted this video in my community section. So if you go there, you'll see it. The name of the video is She Says God Visited Sudan and Nigeria and She Saw Everything. I just want to talk about part of this. It was a part in her dream where Jesus walked in a room. God walked in a room. And a child, 6 men, I think she said it was, began to take the clothes off, rip the clothes off of this child, wanting to rape her. But before they could do that, God had his hand on like their temples. Basically, what it sounds like to me, God was trying to get them to see what it is that he see, feel what it is that he feel. Like she said, he's trying to get them to feel empathy. But the way that I was just talking to God about it, I told him it's like you're trying to help them to see what it is that you see, feel the way that you feel. But it's not that their wickedness was overpowering God, because he's a mighty God. He can change the hearts and minds of people whenever he get ready to. But it's the level of wickedness that God feels as he's trying to help his people that are having a reprobated mind. He's trying to help you. He's trying to help you to come into who he is, like to not want what it is that you want, but when he feels the level of the wickedness that's coming against what it is that he's trying to do, he hands you over to it. He hands you over to it. And that's what happened in her dream. She said he just let go, because what they wanted so badly was pushing so hard against what God was trying to help them to see or help them to feel. It was letting God know that they wanted that wicked thing so bad, and they wanted it more than they wanted what he was trying to give. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. We have to understand that God is fighting for us. He's not just fighting for the victims. He's fighting for the one who's doing the crime. He's fighting, trying to get their attention to turn away from that thing before they go too far. Not just for the victim's sake, but for the person that's doing the crime's sake. But some people are so deep in their wickedness and entwined with corruption till what God is trying to do somehow, in a sense, overpowers. God feels and he sees the power of that thing that has that person, to where he can't do nothing but let them go into what it is that they want so badly. And it's sad to know that people want to be wicked. People want to be nasty. They want to be hurtful. They want to be mean. She was just saying in that dream how God was just hearing all the commotion down here. And he was just wondering, like, what is that? What is going on? And he comes down here and he sees all the dead bodies. She say blood everywhere. And she say how he just dropped to his knees with his hands to the side and just let out a scream like, my children. And another thing, she was just explaining this, and it makes so much sense. The church is the body of Christ. God's children make up the body of Christ, with God being the head. Satan knows that he can do nothing to hurt God. He can do nothing to physically get at God. So what he's doing, I've spoken into my phone. Hold on. The devil knows that he can't physically do anything to God. So he's using human beings to wound God's children, to inflict pain on a heart, to inflict pain on the heart of God. As this young woman I watched tell her dream, and it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. We are the body of Christ. The church is the body of Christ. Christ being the head of the body, because he can't take the head out. He will inflict wounds upon the body, because maybe in his mind he feels like, if I can't kill and harm and hurt, if I can kill and harm and hurt what belongs to him, just maybe, for some foolish unknown reason, he feels like just maybe I can take him out. But we all know that that's not possible. And that although everything around us seems like it just could happen, God will never allow Satan to prevail. He will never allow wickedness to prevail over God's goodness. I never forget the vision God gave me as I was waking up to go to work one morning before I could open my eyes. It was black clouds and it was white clouds. And they were just like hovering over each other, like going back and forth. And the next thing you know, woof, the dark cloud hovered over the white cloud. And I believe you could only see a speck, a small portion of white, and it just looked like the darkness had won. And then next thing you know, woof, the whiteness had been covered, the white cloud had been covered the black cloud. And now, just over the years, I just began to understand, like, God was letting me know, like, it's going to look like the enemy is winning. It's going to look like he has won. But God. That was a powerful dream, and I encourage y'all to go back and listen to that girl's dream, because I believe it without a shadow of a doubt that that's exactly what the Lord showed her. Y'all got to realize God's word says people will dream dreams. People will have visions, and they ain't even got to be saved. I don't know whether she's a woman of God, a woman of faith, or what, but you ain't even got to be saved. God is giving dreams and visions to whoever will listen, to whoever will speak it, so that his people can hear it. They can know it. It's just saddening to know that some people want to be wicked. Like, they don't want good. They don't want to be a part of nothing that is good. That they truly get aroused and they get a high off of being wicked and doing hurtful things to people. Like, that's sad. That is sad. That's sad to know. Like, that is sad to know. that people just want to be nasty. They want to be wicked. They want to be around here inflicting pain, inflicting hurt on people. But they don't know why they're really doing it. Why they're really doing all of this is because the enemy thinks that if I can just get to his children, I can get to him. If I can inflict pain on what he loves, then I can inflict pain on him. She said that in her dream, she said every time that the enemy does something to one of God's children, it's like God saying, ow, ow. Like they do something to his child, he's like, out, a pain in his hand, out, a pain in his foot. Why? Because we're God's hand and his feet while we walking on this earth. We're the hands and feet of God. So every time the enemy does something to come up against us, he's not hurting us. I mean, yes, he's hurting us physically, but spiritually, he knows that he's aiming to hurt God. He's not really aiming to hurt us, but he's doing it because he knows the only way that he can get to God, to hurt him, is to hurt something that belongs to him, something that he cares so much about. God takes pleasure in us. That's a nasty nigga. Satan is a nasty nigga. He nasty. He nasty, ruthless, cutthroat. That's who he is. But God is bigger. God is greater and more powerful than he could ever be. And he knows that. He knows that. But it's like, for whatever reason, he don't care nothing about that. He just enjoys knowing that he's able to get to God some kind of way. To inflict harm on him. To inflict pain on his heart. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I encourage y'all to, I'm going to put the link to that video down in the description. I encourage y'all to please go and watch that video and listen to her dream. And she also said that God said to her, I need an army. I think her name Esther. But he called her name and said, I need an army. God needs an army. God needs his children to stop being around here bickering, going back and forth with each other, being jealous of each other, envious of each other. And he needs us to come together as an army that is ready to stand up against the face of the enemy, that is ready to stand up against the wickedness that's going on in this land. He need an army that he can count on, an army that's not going to back down at the sight of wickedness, that's going to back down at the sight of anything. God is God. He's going to go before us. He has already gone before us. Satan is a defeated foe. God holds the keys to the grave. We have nothing to fear. Yes, everything that's going on around us, happening to us, will cause us to fear. We're human. But God's word clearly tells us many of times, do not fear, for I am with you. His word says in 2 Timothy 1:7, I do not give you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. Fear comes from Satan. I just pray that God helps us to tap into the power and authority that lives on the inside of us that flows from him. I pray that he helps us to come into the men and women that he is calling us to be at this time. That he help us to be the warriors and the soldiers that he needs in his army to do what it is that he needs us to do. I pray that God gives us an unbothered boldness and a courage that can only be given to us by him. with the spirit of discipline and obedience, that whatever he calls us to do, that we're doing it. Whatever he tells us to do, that we're saying it. And wherever he tells us to go, we're going. Whether we're fearing or worrying, we will walk into it, trusting and having faith only in him. Because through him, all these things are possible. All these things can be done. Look at the video. Look at the video. I'll talk to y'all later.